My name is Jawanda Marshall, and I will be discussing the reading achievement of African American students. When compared to their peers, African American students show more deficits in reading than any other race. Research shows that speech and vocabulary of African American students affects their comprehension. Recent studies also reveal that these underachievement gaps are due to home literacy practice and the nature of early reading instruction. African American students are less prepared when they enter school, and the reading gap continues to increase throughout their school career. The purpose of this presentation is to explore the reading achievement of African American students and examine possible causes for low achievement, to review what current research says regarding reading achievement, and also to provide instructional strategies and possible solutions to close the reading gap at Orr's Elementary School for African American students. Here can be seen a breakdown of the demographics at Orr's Elementary School. As seen from the data, African American students make up majority of population. Here can be seen two categories of data for Orr's Elementary School. The first is school-wide data. Orr's Elementary School has a literacy indicator score of 27.63 for African American students. The maximum score for an indicator is 100. Next, data from my classroom can be seen. Data from two assessments, Fontes and Pinnell Reading Assessment, and also the MAP, or Measures of Academic Progress Reading Assessment, was taken. From the pie chart and bar graph displayed, you can see that majority of my students are reading below grade level. It's important to note 13 of my 17 students are African American. Now we will look to see what current research has to say regarding reading achievement. We will first look to see how schema or prior knowledge affects text comprehension. We will then move to see how educators can practically apply literacy-based research through professional learning communities. Finally, we will explore how teachers implementing core reading programs can enhance instruction for culturally and linguistically diverse students. Katie Topple explored how teachers using core reading programs can enhance instruction for diverse students. Topple stated that choosing culturally appropriate texts, engaging students' voices, and incorporating students' funds of knowledge would provide for culturally responsive instruction. Topple emphasized that students feel empowered when teachers take content knowledge and make it accessible to them by connecting it to their lives and experiences outside of school. It was reported in 2015 that 37 states were struggling to provide professional development for teachers. While professional development has become more common today, how effective are these meetings in driving our literacy instruction? Stahl states that teachers should use professional development to bolster comprehension for students. This can only happen if teachers collaborate and work together, choosing high-quality texts, sharing ideas and strategies that will increase instructional effectiveness. The final research study shows how schema or prior knowledge affects comprehension. Schema theory explains how a learner gains and creates knowledge based on what previous knowledge already exists. Schema theory also recognizes the role that culture plays in creating an individual's knowledge. There are several types of schema that may affect reading comprehension of African American students. The first is cultural schema. Cultural schema refers to the attitudes and beliefs that may affect students' interpretation of a text. Students may not have background knowledge on certain topics, or their beliefs may cause a different interpretation of the text. The second type of schema is linguistic schema. Linguistic schema refers to the knowledge about vocabulary and grammar. Linguistic schema also includes the decoding features a person needs in order to understand how words are organized and fit together in a sentence. This can be reflected back to the previous research study that shows speech and vocabulary of African American students affects their comprehension. At Orr's Elementary, teachers are facing students who have various needs and backgrounds, more diversity, and declining literacy rates. As seen from the data, school-wide as well as my personal classroom, the majority of the students at Orr's Elementary are reading below grade level. As seen in the literature, professional development of teachers, reading readiness, and schema all play a role in the reading comprehension of students. In order to provide the students of Orr's Elementary with the best instruction in literacy, students will be offered participation in literacy programs the summer before entering pre-K and each year after. This will better close the reading gap revealed in the literature that most African Americans enter school with. Second, teachers will participate in professional development to find and discuss research-based best strategies to teach comprehension. Workshops will be available year-round, as well as some required for all teachers. Finally, bi-weekly comprehension tests will be administered to students to show growth, as well as reveal areas where students struggle. In order to turn my plans into actions, we must first look at my preliminary implementation plan. Ladson-Billing states, teachers must be open to the notion that their classrooms will be a heterogeneous mixture of cultural, linguistic, racial, and different social classes. This statement rings true for the students of Orr's Elementary School. While a majority of the students are African American, there are also a large portion of Hispanic and Mexican children. Teachers must first learn who their students are outside of the school. This is going to play a tremendous impact on what goes on inside of the classroom. The first way to do that is by building student-teacher relationships. This can be done by administering learning as well as interest inventories to students. Second, the teachers of Orr's Elementary must understand and also meet the 5 basic needs proposed by Abraham Maslow to explain human motivation. According to Maslow, students cannot learn to their greatest potential if lower-level needs such as love, safety, and belonging are not met. Studies show that positive student-teacher relationships are correlated with higher test scores and improved student engagement. To conclude, much research has been done to examine the causes for underachievement of African American students in literacy. However, the literature reviewed suggests that there are more than one factor that plays a role in creating gaps in reading for African American students. With there being more than one factor, more than one solution is needed to best fix the problem and thus accommodate the reading deficits of African American students. In order for the teachers of Orr's Elementary to best meet the needs of diverse students, teachers need to continuously participate in professional development, summer reading programs should be offered to students, and teachers need to provide culturally responsive and engaging lessons to build upon the schemata of their students.